Hello, this is Invisible Bob. The weather tonight will be queer as heck. Later on, we'll be getting flurries here and there of skits, silly voices, and trans ladies. Coming up sometime tomorrow, we'll have gatherings coming up from the south of things we've played, things we've watched, and then in the evening we'll be settling down into things we've listened to. Back to the studio. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where two queer trans ladies have a bit of a natter and a chinwag and do some silly voices and skits about what we've been up to in our weeks.
That's us, that's what we do.
That's what we do. How are you doing?
How am I doing? Alright. Resoundingly alright. I have many layers. I am ready to stay warm.
Yeah, same. It's a chilly day. My toes are so cold.
This is why I purchased some Slippies.
I got the chilly tokens.
Do you want to borrow my Slippies?
It's okay, but I've not got the chilly tokens that you redeem the little coins and you get chili back. I've not got chili tokens. I've got chili tokens.
But I like chili.
I'm very sorry. I have no chili tokens and only chili tokens.
Do you want to borrow my Slippies?
It's okay. Because your toes would be cold otherwise.
Well, we could swap back and forth.
No, it's okay. They're your Slippies. I've got Slippies somewhere. I just need to find them.
Are you talking about your dinosaur Slippies?
I've got dinosaur slippers. They're great. I've also got bunny rabbit slippers. They've got little bunnies on the front.
One day I will own bunny slippers.
I Wish is the only place that has ever had slippers in my size that are cute, and those bunny slippers are adorable.
Wait, hang on, just cut the podcast for a moment.
Oh!
Adult-sized bunny slippers.
Oh heck, that's adorable.
They go up to like size 13.
Oh wow.
Like adult size 13.
Heck! Adult-sized bunny slippers.
Yeah, they go up to like size 13.
And I don't
adorable.
have to order them from China and wait like 3 months for them to arrive.
I don't know where they come from, but...
well, they've got next day delivery on them, so probably not that far.
Whomst have known?
Whomst have known?
But yeah, huge fucking bunny slippers.
Heck!
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I got distracted by bunny slippers and talk of bunny slippers and bunnies and slippers.
Bunny slipper, that's an important thing to get distracted by.
Important bunny slipper-based news. You get it here first.
Goodness, yeah, it's been, other than cold, it's been a busy old week.
Yup, it was busy. So many biz.
I've not stopped this week.
You haven't. I mean, first of all, there was the Pokémon.
Yeah, which we will get into. Yeah.
Do you want to start there? That was almost last week, but this week it's very much now.
I feel like we've got to get into what we've played, because all of the things that have made me busy this week have been things that I've played.
Well, let's talk about things we played.
Yeah. So Pokemon Sword and Shield are out properly now, and I have already put like 40 hours into them. Played a bunch over the weekend. I played a bunch. I've been streaming a bunch of it. I've been doing like 4-hour-long live streams, going through the story, and getting real deep into that game. So I know there's people who have had complaints before it came out about like, oh, they could have done more. They could have, had newer animations and all the Pokemon aren't there, etc. I really don't care. It hasn't bothered me in the slightest. There's 400 Pokemon. I'm 40 hours in and I'm like a third of the way through getting the Pokedex. And that's before I've even really started on the shiny stuff. That's
good. You have been grinding for shinies.
I've been shining for one shiny, but like,
shiny.
Yeah, I did one shiny hunt, but like, this isn't like that's 40 hours of pure shiny hunting or anything. Like, I'm very much enjoying the story presentation. They've pulled back a lot of the like, there's an evil team of villains and they're trying to get the legendary Pokemon so that they can destroy the world for a misguided purpose. A lot of that plot that's been like a growing part of Pokemon has been stripped away, and it's basically just been, no, the Pokemon League is like not a thing that everyone completes. It's really hard, and people who like couldn't finish it end up being celebrities. Go try and do the Pokemon League. That's the thing you want to do, right? Like, try and not be one of the people who fails halfway through and gets booted out. So, like, the whole presentation of making the gyms themselves feel like a big deal rather than a roadblock that prevents you from going to save the world has been kind of a nice shift. I'm a fan of it. I have been really liking the primary rival character you have.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off as friendly rival who is basically your friend and will help you all the time. There's not much of a rival initially. Thankfully that's offset because you also have an asshole rival who's just a rich boy who is... He's like, oh, I got brought into the league by the chairman. He's more important than you. Just really annoying, very hateable twat of a
Daddy
rival.
put me in.
Yeah, little bit like that. Like the 15-year-old version of that voice.
You have the Etonian child.
Yes. So you've got the arsehole Etonian rival, and then you've got your friend rival. But your friend rival has a bit of an arc. Like, he starts off like, hey, I'm your friend, everything's great. Then he has a crisis of confidence because he sucks at Pokemon. And then he actually improves. He's like, hey, maybe I shouldn't just have 3 Pokemon of my 6 slots at any one time. Maybe I should also, like, swap some of my Pokemon out, swap other ones in, try proper strategies. And he's getting better, and it's been really nice to watch him, like... all of the things that initially I'm like, you're not a good rival, you're missing basic things about Pokemon, to watch him realise them and verbalise, like, oh yeah, no, I sucked. I'm gonna get better. I'm like, oh, you're quite sweet now.
Perhaps you will be the very best.
Like no one ever was.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Imagine it.
I am very much enjoying my quest to go find all the Pokemon in this, like... yeah, there's 400 or so, which is like about half of what was in the previous largest game. I think 400 was about what you could actually find in game and in Sun and Moon. You could just bring past ones over. The wild area, the big sort of Breath of the Wild-esque open area. Initially, I was a bit put off by the fact that you couldn't catch Pokemon that were above a certain level, and honestly, that stopped being a problem pretty quickly. Once you've beaten maybe 3 or 4 gyms, when you're like halfway in, the latter half of the game, the whole wild area is basically like, oh yeah, you can catch pretty much anything in the game at that point. It's not a super unforgiving... the first time you reach that wild area, it can feel like, oh, I'm not allowed to go there, I'm not allowed to go there, because there's Pokemon in the way. That feeling does dissipate, and I think it's worth, like, maybe not worrying about the wild area too much your first visit. Maybe once you've done your first circuit and made it back to the big motorized town, then going to go like, okay, I've got a couple of badges under my belt, now let's try this big area. I started shiny hunting, which is a thing. We still don't entirely know how shiny hunting works, but we know some basics and specifics. The number of a specific species of Pokemon that you have lifetime knocked out is one major modifier to your shiny chances. It goes anywhere from, like, the first time you knock out a Pokemon, it puts you up a shiny rating, up to 500 is the top end. Wow. So I went and knocked out 500 Yamper, which is the electric corgi with a heart on its butt. And then on top of that, you have to try and get a chain of 25 of the same species knocked out in a row, but we don't know what breaks that chain yet, because everything's still a bit up in the air.
Many corgis died to bring us this information.
Indeed. Right now, I wouldn't recommend anyone do shiny hunting, because there are a lot of unknowns and question marks, and we don't know what you can or can't do without accidentally screwing up your chances of a shiny. But I don't mind losing a weekend to just running around in circles doing the same task over and over. So I'm having a lot of fun shiny hunting already.
Yay!
Woo! Yeah, all of the... I've grown to really like the Gigantamaxing, the big, like, at the end of gym battles, you can have one of your Pokemon go really huge and it gets a different suite of attacks.
Chonky friend.
Yeah, big chonky friends. I didn't... The mechanic is basically Z moves and Mega Evolution wrapped up into one thing but time limited, which I didn't think I would like, but I really enjoy it in practice. Having the ability to make one of your Pokemon really strong and have new moves, but only for a limited amount of time, really made you sort of it makes you question mark, like, when and how do I use it with which Pokemon? It feels a bit more special than some of those previous iterations of the same sort of idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm also really enjoying the raids that you can do. Now that I've worked out how to get online so that I can actually pair up with other people.
That seems to be an issue a lot of people have had. Do you want
Yes.
to tell people how it does?
Yeah, so this is a similar thing to what happened in Sun and Moon. It's I would argue even more unclear here. See, when you press the Y button on the controller, you open up the menu for stuff like trading with other people, surprise trading, which is the replacement for Wonder Trade, etc. And I was clicking on those and just forever, looking for someone to pair with, and it never found anyone. That's because you have to press the plus button on your controller to connect to the internet, even if your Switch is already connected to the internet, so that the game will connect to the internet, and you can trade with and do things with other people online. Which is why, for the first day, I didn't find anyone to pair up in raids with, or couldn't do surprise trade. But I worked that out now, and it's really fun doing, here's a Pokemon with really strong attacks, and it's 4 against 1. You've got 4 trainers against 1 big Pokemon, but, the big Pokemon you're raiding against, it gets extra turns to attack, and it has a lot more health, and it does a lot more damage, it has special moves. But you get really rewarded for basically just working as a team to take down a Pokemon, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been a good way to find Pokemon that I can't find elsewhere. If you beat the raid, you're pretty much guaranteed a catch of it. If you get to the catch stage, it doesn't matter what you throw, it's going to stay in the ball, so you don't have to worry about, I beat the raid, but I didn't get to have the reward. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of time to this game, and I'm excited about that.
Yay!
I'm very excited to lose large parts of my life to Pokemon. I know where I can find a Mimikyu now. I've not found one, but I know where they are.
Mimikyu friend.
My team has got some adorable Pokemon on it already.
But it does not yet have Mimikyu.
It doesn't yet have Mimikyu, but I have a dragon that is made from a little lizard that crawled inside an apple and ate the inside of it and used the peel to make wings. It's a little apple dragon.
Is that the one? Does that evolve from the apple?
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the 2 things the apple can evolve into. It can also evolve into a dragon that doesn't have wings. It's a big sort of wingless dragon, but it's got a big apple pie on its back. It's really cute.
So the apple has a worm in it.
Yes.
Worm with a Y.
I suppose worm with a Y. Yeah. I've got a ghost in a teacup, or now it's in a teapot. I've got a ghost in a teapot. I have the Weezing with the top hat that looks like a smokestack and a little moustache made out of smoke. I've got all the starters, and I've got 2 of those have evolved to their highest point now, and I'm really enjoying it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yay! What about you? What have you played this week?
I sunk a lot of time into something that was far less fun. So, I think I've mentioned already that I've been playing Graveyard Keeper.
Yes, you have.
I was very much enjoying the loop of that. And then I played 16 hours of it on Saturday and achieved nothing.
No, nothing.
Not absolutely nothing.
But nothing of substance.
I automated some things with some zombies that I raised out of corpses. But I still didn't manage to progress anywhere, and I got to a point where one person was like, I need you to get this thing from this person so that we can progress the story. I was like, cool. And this other person was like, I need you to get this thing from the person that asked you to get the thing from me so that I can give you the thing that they asked from me. Otherwise I won't be happy enough to give you the thing that they want. And the other person was like, well, I'm not happy enough to give you the thing you want. And I'm looking at the wiki and it's like, somebody else has the thing. Once you've spoken to this person once, they'll tell you that they gave it to someone else. Yeah, but you have to have them at a high enough happiness already to do that. And as far as I'm aware, you can only do that through trading missions, so what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, you've reached that end game point in these kind of games where there's a dozen systems that are all demanding your time, and
it started to feel like a mobile game.
Yeah.
Because I realised there's 6 forms of currency in that game.
Yeah.
There's popularity for your trading business, which I only just unlocked at the end of that. I was like, God, more shit that I've got to deal with. Then there's like the 3 types of research that you've got to do, which you generate through making things or like harvesting certain resources or research. And then you've got to use that to unlock the 6 different tech trees. Then you've got all the other things to discover. Then you've got like storyline stuff, and the storyline's not even nice. Like, they're all horrible people, with the exception of maybe the astrologer and the witch. Like, you're being asked to do things for the Inquisitor. I don't want to do things for the Inquisitor. He's just turned around to me and said, "Hey, grow some grapes. You can use my family's farm. Grow some grapes, and I want to get my soldiers pissed so that they'll find more witches, because everyone looks like a witch when you're pissed. And then we're going to burn them." I don't want to do that. Yeah, I need you to print up flyers, because attendances at witch burnings are really down. Print some flyers up. It's like, I don't want to do that. Can you make some statues of me outside the church so that more people will look at me looking really powerful and cool? And no,
What did that game become? God,
it became so many things, so many things
that were not the reason that you got into it.
I got into it because I was like, I wanted a macabre Stardew Valley. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But like when all the religious stuff, all the religious people are horrible.
Does that feel deliberate?
I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to reflect the Catholic Church as it is, or if it's if they just think, haha, that's funny, or what. Like, because it went from feeling like goth Stardew Valley to edgy Stardew Valley. I was like, no, I don't need this.
Yeah.
And just the fact that there's so much stuff. Like, there's, like Stardew Valley, it has a dungeon section. So you go to the dungeon. Once you've killed any enemy in it, that does not respawn. So once you've cleared it, that's it, over.
Yeah.
So you only get one go through all of the dungeons. Furthermore, the dungeons themselves, there is so much stuff so much loot that you will get from things that you can't even clear a level without having your inventory completely fill up. It's like, here's 9 new powders to deal with. You're going to need to build a new shelf to put that on, so that'll give you something else to do. Like, I finally got out of the loop of needing more stone, needing more iron, needing more marble, needing more wood by automating that, but that took hours.
Yeah.
I upgraded the graveyard because that was one of the things that was doing. I was like, that's the thing I'm working on. I'm pottering on my graveyard. And then the bishop's like, well, I want you to make statues of me, and it's all about, you need to get yourself aristocrat papers so that you can be seen with me at a party, and that'll be really good. It's like, what? No.
Goodness.
And then the merchant, after hours of like, can you get some trading papers? Like, cool. Okay, we're opening a trading post, so now you have to like fill pallets up with shit, and we'll sell it to the next town over, which is in the middle of like a famine. It's like, what? I don't like it anymore. And you were in the room at the time, wasn't it?
You were having a bad time.
I think it was like 11 o'clock on Saturday, and I just went, I'm fucking done with this game.
Yeah, and it made sense. Like, you'd been muttering about how you felt about it for a while, and the breaking point felt like it was coming.
Yeah, so I've I'd started writing a review on it and already given it a score, and then after Saturday I was like, nope, rewriting that.
Gosh. Should we talk about another game that we played at the weekend?
Yeah, let's talk about I was going to say let's talk about a nice game, but we're going to talk about the game we played at the weekend.
The one that made us almost throw up.
Diet Aid, the VR game.
Oh, God. So, I reviewed a game this weekend for Polygon called Golem. And the premise was, like, interesting enough. Your sister, you're this kid, a young kid living in sort of fantasy place in the desert, and your sister sneaks you out at night to go, hey, you know how I keep finding all these rare treasures when we go out looking for stuff to salvage? It's because, you know that big temple that's surrounded by the barriers that no one can go through? I worked out how to use magic to get the golems that are in there that can go through the barrier to bring me all the nice treasure out. But while your sister's showing this off,
the golem attacks her.
Shit goes wrong. Yeah, the golem isn't supposed to be able to do anything when she's not controlling it, but it does. And it seemingly kills her and then falls on you and crushes your legs. And you now...
So it's a really chill start.
Yeah. So you're trapped in bed, and then this ghostly orb that, like, talks as if it's your sister, maybe it's your sister's ghost, I'm not sure, brings you down this thing that you can use to inhabit the golems. You can sort of astral project yourself.
It's a weird wand thing.
Yeah, sort of crystal wand that you can use to... And the idea is become like animated objects, become the golem, explore the interior of the temple, and I don't know what the end goal was. Was I in there for treasure? Was I in there to maybe save my sister somehow, even though the game told me she was dead? Like, the game didn't give me an end goal of why I was doing this, just, you can be in the golems now, go be in the golems.
Well, first of all, you have to be in that...
Oh yeah, you're in a tiny doll first, escaping...
Being attacked by bugs.
Yeah, being attacked by bugs, it's a whole thing. But the crux of the game is, it's sort of an exploration combat game with, like, roguelike elements of, like, equipment you find.
It wants to be a motion control mech game.
Yeah, so at the start of each run, you pick your loadout for your golem. It can have a helmet and which sword and what power core, and these get used up if you die, so, like, the game doesn't tell you. You can collect these things from other golems you defeat.
And there is a big problem with the game as a whole. The
Yeah.
lack of feedback.
Yes, there's a lot of, like, the game doesn't tell you you can do things, or, like, doesn't tell you that you've done things correctly. Like, the game is really unclear about things. Like, I didn't know until we read an email from the developer, like, when my review was almost up, that there was an analog stick control mode. Because, should we talk about the default control scheme for this game?
Yeah, we can start there.
Yeah, to move your golem around in 3D space, it's a first-person game, you lean forward in your seat to walk forwards.
While holding the trigger on the motion
Oh yeah, while
controller.
holding the trigger on the motion controller. You have to, like, lean forward and sit, like, awkwardly slightly forward.
Yeah.
Or lean back to walk back, and turn your head to turn. The basic act of moving through that game was motion sickness inducing, like no VR game I have played.
It was really bad.
The only thing even close to comparable, and I think this is worse than that, is that mech game in the PlayStation VR Worlds demo collection. Is the only other thing I've felt this motion sick trying to play.
It got to a point where we were going through these tunnels right in the early game, because you'd had to tag out, and I was like, for the sake of you getting this review done, I will dive in and do a bit for you. It got to a point we were going through those tunnels where I could see out of my periphery that there was a big hole in the wall, and if I looked through it, I would probably see like a whole glorious spectacle of the next scene area, and I went, nope, too busy. I'm going straight for the target.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the end of this. I'm getting through as much of this as I can before my stomach drops out of my arsehole.
Normally in games, I will go... If the game tells me to go right, I will go left. I want to see what's over there.
Yeah.
Not in this.
So it was like, where is the red flickering banner thing that I know is the, like, sign of progress?
Yes. It made no sense why that existed where it did to be progress, but fine. But yes, so the basic act of moving was really disorienting for a few reasons. Like, it doesn't ramp up your momentum when you start moving, you just suddenly are going, which is a bit of a stomach lurcher. Steps, where you should sort of, like, go down a step, are treated as slopes, and brain does not like that. You sort of drift as you turn, like, turning around corners feels like you're drifting.
Yeah, it feels more like you're supposed to stop, turn,
Yes.
or use the flash turn thing,
Yes.
like 45-degree turns.
Yeah, but the problem is like, the game isn't built for that, because you've got such lengthy backtracking to do if you die and have to replay stuff. No one wants to move, stop, turn, move again.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, okay, keep
So
moving.
you very often end up sort of like, I'm going to turn my head while still leaning in the direction,
Yeah,
and ultimately what you end up doing is sort of slightly strafing for a little bit
Yeah.
while you sort of waggle your head until it straightens up again.
Yeah.
It's not fun or comfortable.
And it's the same problem if you end up using the analog stick to move, you can't see your controller, and if you're even slightly not perfectly forward, you're strafing, and that gets really disorienting.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to the lack of feedback issue, like you were saying on your first run, it hadn't told you could equip a thing so
No.
that you had a light, so
Yeah.
that you could deal with the bugs. It's just
Yeah,
like,
I had to
you're
go in.
going to have to die.
Yeah, I had to go in and die to then get the item that would to be given the item to not die the next run, which meant having to go down that spiral staircase again.
Yeah, which was already uncomfortable.
Yeah. Also, if you turned your head too fast or too far to either side, you would see a room that wasn't the room you were currently exploring.
Well, because you were like the story aspect of that is that you're supposed to be
You're a
like,
kid astral projecting.
Yeah, you're disabled in bed following the accident.
So like you'd be exploring this ancient temple, and if you move your head too fast, you can see the bedroom where the kid is. And I
kept catching that chair in the corner of the room out of the corner of my eye, thinking, "Oh, that's something to."
Yeah.
No, that's still in the bedroom.
And like, I don't know for certain, but my guess is that maybe that was a deliberate decision to try and be like, hey, to try and tether you to the fact that you're a character in a bed, not the golem itself. But like, that in my peripheral vision kept like completely throwing me and making me feel really disoriented.
Although you did eventually find the settings to sort of tone that down a
bit.
bit.
You could basically create a tunnel effect, so everything around the edges of your vision was black and it looks like you're looking through binoculars, but at least you're not seeing the other room so much. Yeah. Beyond all that, there's combat. It's basically, you've got a move controller in your hand, motion control, block sword blows that are incoming, then do a sword slash to attack the other golem.
Yeah, and in VR, it was alright.
The motion tracking of the sword was good.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, there were times where that last attempt I made at the game...
When you were using the analog stick.
When I had the analog stick, so I could sort of step back to block, step forward to attack, without having to try and lean my body in the moment to do that. I felt like I was really getting the combat all of a sudden. Like, the angle that you have to block on is really hyper-specific.
I mean, I did alright with that.
The biggest issue I found was, like, if you want to be close enough to the golem that when you slash at it, you'll actually hit it, it means that, like, you're a little too close to get the proper peripheral vision to see exactly where a slash is coming in from, I think, is part of the problem.
Basically, what's got to happen is you've got to sort of rock back slightly, enough that you can see all the moves, and, like, basically guess when it's next going to do it, so you basically got to block and start leaning forward.
Yeah.
In the hope that the next one is the one where you're going to get to
fight
actually
back.
do a slash at them.
But, like, when it was working, that combat was at times fun. I could see where the fun was there.
I think the problem I have with that is with the move controllers, there's no rumble, there's no real feedback.
Yeah.
And you don't feel connected to it. You get feather duster disease, which is that whole thing in VR where it's like, I'm not getting any feedback, but I'm waving a sword that's hitting something. And you just end up arm forward, waggle, waggle, waggle. And it just looks and feels ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a real shame, because, like, the narrative stuff at the beginning of the game seemed really interesting.
Yeah.
The characters seemed well acted and voiced. There was some interesting character designs.
The art's quite
nice.
The
environment design looked fab. I just could not play this game without feeling like I was going to vomit.
Yeah.
And I forced myself to play as many hours as I could over, like, 3 days. And I was like, I'm sorry, can't do it.
No.
Yeah. So go read my thoughts about that on Polygon, because that's... Ooh, that was a mess.
I referred to it as Diet Simulator.
Yeah.
Because basically it will put you off eating for a few hours.
Yes, it will. What about you? Have you played anything else this week?
I played some Alien Isolation.
Yes, you tried jumping into the DLC.
I did. I thought, I really want to... I basically care about the cast of the original film. I want to see that, so having never played it before, leapt immediately into the Expendable Crew DLC or whatever it's called.
Yes.
I was like, okay, wander around. Oh, the scenery is so pretty, it looks so cool, and the characters look so good, and I know all these things. Yay, this is all cool and familiar, and this weird retro future with the weird CRT screens and stuff. But it's all kind of cool. And then I went downstairs into the bit I was supposed to be doing. I hit a button, I hid behind a table, and I died. I was like, I don't even understand how I could have done that any better. So now I'm going to go through and try the normal game on its easiest mode.
Yay!
Because I think the problem with a lot of those games, like, I think Outlast had this. Like, initially, it's really tense. But, like, once you've died, like, twice, maybe 3 times, it starts to become less tense. Because you don't have that fear of mortality that is, like, right in there from the beginning. I think that lessens the sense of fear you have for it, and that's a shame, because I think the greatness of those games lives in that tension.
Yeah.
In that feeling connected to the character and feeling genuinely terrified that this thing is hunting you or that you're being followed.
Yeah.
However that is portrayed. But yeah, so I was like, I'm going to stick it on the easiest setting so that I'm not doing this constantly reset. Oh god, not again, the thing's killed me. Right, restart.
Yeah.
I want to keep it to it's not going to be as difficult, but ultimately, if I do die, it's going to be a bit more meaningful.
Yeah, and if you do find it's too easy, you can always turn it up. It's probably more frustrating to get frustrated and turn it down.
Yeah, but you know,
I think you made.
I don't have time for gaming anymore.
I know.
I barely have time for gaming. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
This is why streaming is really good. But god damn it, Alien Isolation, you will not run with an overlay.
Yeah.
And immediately crash every time I load XSplit. So I guess I can't stream that, and therefore I can't play
There's one
it.
streaming solution that might work.
Ops.
Well, it's either we learn to do OBS, or laptop in here, do the
With a
HDMI
Hindi.
out into my capture input.
Yikes.
Yeah, and have XSplit run it that way. So we can probably find a way to make it work.
Could do.
We could just learn OBS.
Could learn OBS. I don't even know if OBS will help, but there we go. So then, what else have you played?
The only other thing I've really been playing, and there will probably be a review up by the time that this goes out. I've been playing Shenmue 3. It should tell you everything you need to know about that game. The review code went out to the big outlets about 8 hours before the game released.
So, how is QTE Simulator?
Okay. Shenmue 1 and 2.
Didn't Shenmue invent the QTE?
It probably, if it didn't, it popularized it.
Okay.
The first 2 Shenmue games were very much ahead of their time, but didn't age well. They tried to do a lot of features that a lot of later games did sort of refine and take on board, and did a lot of new things. They're games about a guy whose dad has been killed by some mafia people, it seems, and they stole a mirror from his house that had a dragon on it, and he wants revenge for his dad's murder, so he goes out to try and find out what happened. And those games were famous for, like, having you do mundane things to pass the time, to try and make their world feel more real. And this largely meant you need money, forklift some boxes from place to place for a few hours to make the money you need to get a ticket to go to the boss fight. It's not, I wouldn't say it's aged well. So Shenmue 3 gets announced, and the big question for everyone is, how much are they going to modernise the formula versus do exactly the same thing in 2019 when most of those things feel really dated? And the answer is, they've made it visually prettier. But my god, this game feels like it was pushed out the door with no thought to modernising any of the design decisions. And even to a certain extent, like, it doesn't feel like a native English speaker went through the script of this and made sure that it just passed and made sense.
Because you were saying this morning there were bits that just didn't seem to be making sense.
Yeah, may I read to you 2 examples of conversations that I had in this game this morning?
Please.
Let me find them. Could you help me? I'm looking for insert name of NPC. No, I didn't. That's not what I asked. Can you help me? I'm looking for an NPC for this NPC. No, I didn't.
Okay.
How do you know insert NPC anyway? I guess so. How do you know them? I guess so. Like, that you get questions and the answers don't match up. It's like, I feel like some of these lines were translated in complete isolation and no one looked at the translated end result and went like, they're like, that line makes sense, that line makes sense. They didn't look at if the 2 lines together made sense. It feels like
Is it that, or do you think maybe it's that, like, it's pulling up the wrong answers to the questions?
The answers are always, like, the correct tone. So, like, it's always, like, the right gist of it. So in those examples, it's like, yeah, do you... let me pull the examples back up to sort of say what I mean. Like, how do you know this NPC? Oh, I guess so. Like, what they were going for seemed to be, how do you know this NPC? Well, I kind of know them. It's that sort of, like, wishy-washy tone. Could you help me? No, I didn't. Should have been like, no, I don't know anything, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, some of the words and they're never saying yes when they mean no, or the reverse. It doesn't seem like it's pulling the wrong text. It seems like it's been badly translated. But I've played this game for multiple hours today, and here's what happened. I started the game near a small village. I ran down into the small village. I went on a wild goose chase of about 15 NPCs, none of whom's names I knew, who were all not in predictable locations, some of whom I had to wait for specific times of day to talk to, going, do you know about the thugs that were in town? Oh, I don't know about the thugs that were in town. I believe they'll know about the thugs that were in town. Go find them. Oh, no, I don't know about the thugs, but so-and-so, they saw the thugs. Oh, I saw the thugs, but I didn't actually see anything of them. So-and-so saw the thugs as well. Maybe they'll have more information. Just running around this town in circles, getting nowhere.
And then you had your big mystery scene.
Okay, yeah, let's get to the mystery scene. I eventually found a house that had been ransacked, and it seemed like it was important and had clues. So, I get to do detective vision, and oh my god, every single thing in this room is an interactable.
Every drawer, of which there were many.
There were like, I counted, there were like 30 drawers in that room. And every one of them, let's say there's a drawer and it's interactable. I have to highlight my thing over it, press the button, it'll zoom in, press the button again to open the drawer, it'll show if there's anything interactable in the drawer, you zoom in on the thing that's interactable, press the button again, and you will get one of 3 lines that basically sum up as, I'm sorry, it'll be like, I wonder if there's a clue here. I should try looking somewhere else. This doesn't seem right. Which all basically mean there's no clue here, and then you have to play all of those animations in reverse to slowly close the drawer again. And it's like, guess I'll try the next drawer. And it's things like, I could move the bed. So I moved the bed and there was something under it. I was like, that's got to be the clue. It was not a clue. There was nothing that was a clue under the bed, it just let me move the bed for no reason.
Well, because I think people would want to look behind the bed. I guess that there is a reason.
Yeah, but
at the same time, if it's not going to lead to anything, it can fuck off.
I feel like there is a line to walk. Like, I think it makes sense in a game like this to have a few things that are red herrings that are not clues that you can interact with. Yeah. But this was overkill. There were too many things that were nothing, and not enough things that were anything that I didn't want to click on anything because I'm like, it's not going to be a fucking clue. Nothing's a fucking clue. None of this is a clue.
3 things were a clue.
Three things. Well, okay, 2 things were a clue, and 1 thing was unrelated and a thing for a separate story mission. Do you want to go on a side mission and find out which child this truck belongs to?
Well,
Do
do you?
No, because none of the children are helpful. Anytime I try and go, is this toy yours? They're like, oh, are you giving it to me, mister? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to find out whose it is. Meanie. And I don't want to have that conversation anymore with these children.
I can't keep distressing these children.
I got to have one fight. And I maintain the combat in Shenmue is kind of fun. It's basically 3D arena, like, fighting game fighting.
Okay, like Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, you've got your sort of, like, back steps or your block to
Okay.
stay out the way of harm. You can sort of sidestep as well. You've got light and heavy punches and kicks, and then you've got, like, a sort of whirlwind kick if you can get that in.
Ooh.
Like, that combat was fun. I enjoyed doing a fight. But as much time as I spent doing that, I also had to spend a bunch of time pressing X to chop wood, to make money, to buy food, because my food meter keeps going down, which is also my health meter, but also my stamina meter. So many things to end up as, well, I found this list of paper with some names on it. Now I'm going to go talk to every single NPC until one of them knows what it is. And there's like 15 I can talk to, and they're all going to talk round in circles, and it's not going to be interesting. Like, there's no way to know who you should go to. It's pure luck to be, who knows about this one?
So is it any good?
I'm not having a good time with Shenmue 3. It feels like a really old game. If you told me this game was made 15 years ago and this was an HD remake, I would believe you. It feels like a really old game that has a nice visual coat of paint. Oh, and also, I'm not 100% certain, but I think there's a transphobic stereotype character, like, within the first hour. They're referred to with male pronouns and have a very masculine... They very much have a masculine voice, but they also flirt with the male protagonist and appear to maybe have breasts and wear pink, and everyone's a bit funny about them, and that's a whole thing. I'm not enjoying Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never played Shenmue 1 or 2, but I've looked at videos of people playing it and gone, this is busy work, the game.
It really is. Like, my hope quietly for Shenmue 3 was streamline it a bit.
Yeah.
I'll take this game being 5 hours shorter if it feels like you cut 5 hours of
Guff.
running round in circles, not knowing what to do out of it.
Do you want to play Bagatelle?
Oh god. In order to progress the story, I had to play hide and seek with some children. I had to beat a person at Pachinko, which was pure dumb luck. I just had to keep playing Pachinko until I eventually won. Actually, I've had to do multiple gambling games to progress the story, and they're complete games of chance.
How are the gacha machines going?
I got a little toy car out one of them, that was quite cute.
Woo.
One of the side missions wants me to get a very specific thing out of a specific gacha machine, and I don't want to do that side mission, because it's just gonna be... It's not even a gacha machine I care about, it's fishing lures. I don't want to go and buy all of the fishing lures out of the gacha machine to please this kid, so he can buy medicine for his granddad. Just let me give you money so you can buy your granddad medicine. Don't make me do a gacha machine.
But we have to hide all these things behind other things to artificially extend the game with no plot.
No, so far I've played hours, and what have we discovered? The stonemasons were getting attacked. We knew that from 5 minutes into the game, but like 4 hours in, it's... But what if the connecting thread is that it's all the stonemasons? Maybe we should talk to the other stonemasons about if they are gonna get attacked. I'm not having a good time with Shenmue 3. It's not a good game.
I would be interested, if you ever get to the end of it, to just find out how much game there was, and how much of it was just extraneous fluff.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how much I can push myself through it. Because I am working on a review for a place, and I've got to see how far I can go.
Ooh.
I'm being paid to push through this.
Got Any others?
That's everything I've played, I think.
We played some more Magic and some more Yu-Gi-Oh! With the slightly adjusted decks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tried your Exodia deck and you got Exodia.
Did I?
Yeah, you Exodia.
Oh, I did Exodia in the end. Yeah. You
thought you'd lost it, but then you managed to wangle it back out of the graveyard.
I was down to 600 life points. I was almost dead.
So close.
I was so close.
Yeah.
But I thought it was well paced. I got it just in the nick of time.
It was interesting because you barely damaged me at all, and then you were just like, haha, Exodia. Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with that deck. It's can I stop you from taking all my life points just long enough for me to pull this off?
Yeah.
And it's on the line, because I was down to 600, as you saw. Like, it wouldn't have taken much for you to have beaten me. Like, I was very close to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was good to try the refined Blue Eyes deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's everything we played. So then, time for this.
This. Hey, are you okay out there? Goodness, you're certainly wrapped up. Yeah, it's terribly cold. I had to go out for milk this morning. It looked like it was going to freeze. Do you want to come in? Do you want to come in? So, yeah, you do appear to be a bit stuck. Do you think you could remove a couple of those layers of clothing? You do have about 30 pairs of trousers, probably about 40 jumpers on.
I'm trying to bend any of my limbs, so I can't, bend to take anything off.
That's okay, I can try and give you a hand to get this stuff off. Like, are you happy if I take some of this off?
Start with the scarf.
Okay, I've got the scarf off. There we go.
Oh, yeah, I can't really bend any of my... I'm not even sure how I got that last mitten on.
So, I can take it off if you're okay. Like, I'll just have to take a couple of layers off.
Just a few layers, just so I can bend enough to
get the hoodie off and get the next hoodie off.
My head's stuck. Lift.
There we go.
Oh, gee. Okay, I'm free-ish. I mean, there's still just 80 or 90 more layers to go.
Are we gonna just have to leave you out here till spring?
Oh. What if we have a warm winter festival?
Well, at least you won't be cold.
There is that aspect, but I might boil.
Oh no! Look at the scissors.
I made a mistake. I just wanted to be warm.
It's day 14 of my solitary confinement. The humans have locked all the doors and have abandoned me. I've made count of 14 days alone, unfed, uncared for, but for all I know, with my limited ability to count, it could be 1,000 years. I've started to go stir-crazy. I pace the rooms. I look at the food cupboard. Pace the rooms. Look at the food cupboard. I batter glass off the table and look at the food cupboard. Another 1,000 years has passed. I still have not been fed. I shout, but my cries go on deaf ears. It is a cruel and unusual punishment these humans have bestowed upon me, the cat.
Oh, I'm back from the shops. Oh, sorry, it was a bit packed. I was gone a full hour. Sorry.
Meow. Never fed. Starving.
I fed you like 3 hours ago.
I'm dying alone. Meow.
Have some fussing. So, what have you put in your eye hole, Placey?
I've not put a lot in my eye hole things this week. Mainly I've put the stuff in my eyes that we've both watched together.
Mm-hmm. We watched that She-Ra season 4.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that escalated and there were consequences and I have feelings and fears and emotions.
Yeah, it's got some real Act 2 energy.
Yeah, This is what happened with Voltron. It starts as like, oh, there'll be a little drama here and there, but it's mainly, misadventure of the week. And then it gets all like, oh, shit's gone down. Everyone is sad and everything's going wrong and nothing is good anymore.
I think, isn't that how the hero's journey goes?
Yeah, pretty much, and I love it.
Well, I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving some people back. Getting some people back. We're getting to see, uncover more of the greater mystery.
I'm enjoying seeing things that we thought were positive and good be sort of like, we didn't know everything that was going on, or...
I don't know where the fuck we go from here.
Well, I imagine there is now big thing we need to deal with.
Yeah, but there's also minor things that we need to deal with.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that series.
That She-Ra show's real good, huh?
It really fucking is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We watched the latest episode of The Good Place.
Ooh, we did. That is another show that I have no clue where it's going.
Yeah, we know they're in the last season, so it can only go so far.
I don't know how many episodes there are this season, but this most recent episode was definitely an episode that for, I think, any other show would have been the finale. And then... oops, there's another problem to deal with now.
There's no problems to deal with. Also, can we just address the fact that I laughed solidly for almost 20 minutes?
Oh my god. All I have to say is, I've never seen a show dunk on PewDiePie as being the worst human being as masterfully as The Good Place.
It's worse than Henry Kissinger.
It had such a beautiful build-up and tension to drop that punchline. That is the most I've ever seen a piece of media make you laugh. It was beautiful. You were crying. It was wonderful.
It was like, no. Out of nowhere, just rattling off evil people, and the most evil person Sean could think of was PewDiePie.
But that undersells how beautifully it was delivered. It was so good.
It was masterful, and then I think it was probably because the episode we watched it over the weekend, and then yesterday morning I started seeing rumblings on Twitter that it had been discovered by PewDiePie's audience.
Well,
they're cross. Apparently he doesn't give a fuck, but...
I hope he doesn't give a fuck. He's got too much money to give a fuck.
But, you know how tribalists be.
Yeah. Oh no, they were mean to the person that I like that said the N-word a bunch.
Yeah.
He said the N-word a bunch.
I'm unsurprised.
Yeah.
I once watched a PewDiePie video.
Yeah.
Just to find out what it was.
Yeah.
Because I just kept hearing his name over and over and over again. It was one of the Amnesia videos.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. Maybe coming up on sort of 8 years now. And I was like, this isn't funny.
Yeah, so, summary of why PewDiePie is the worst. He said the M-word on live streams more than once.
He's dressed as a Nazi.
Yeah, he thought it was really funny to get some kids in Africa to talk about killing all the Jews on video. That was a thing he did. He makes a lot of jokes about killing all the Jews for someone who is ostensibly not anti-Semitic.
Well, he likes to do that sort of... It's almost the thing... And it's enough that the people who relate to the thing will very much go, he's doing the thing! But it gives him just enough deniability. Or he thinks it gives him enough deniability. But everyone's like, no, mate. No, that is not deniable. You are a horrible racist. Stop. Yeah. That really brought things down. Anyway.
We watched another thing together.
We did.
We watched The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance.
We started watching that.
We're 2 episodes in?
About that, yeah.
2 or 3.
Mm.
I think that is an infinitely better made piece of media than the original Dark Crystal in terms of
It's trying to squeeze less into an hour and a half.
Well, I don't think that was even the problem. I don't think the original Dark Crystal had a problem of trying to squeeze things into an hour and a half. It padded with a lot of... The original movie, it's lovely and it's a visual masterpiece, but it's a lot of, telling rather than showing, and expositional narration and kind of stilted scenes.
I see what you mean. At the same time, I think part of that is technology. And another big part of that is that it comes from reading Brian Froud's books. And they are, here is a pretty picture and a page of text.
I'm not saying I don't understand how it came to be. I understand the dots that connect. But as an adult having watched The Dark Crystal, I'm like, I can appreciate this for the masterpiece that it was and is. Even if I don't think it's necessarily a well-made piece of media.
I'd still rather watch Labyrinth.
Yeah. Labyrinth is an infinitely better paced piece of media, but that's one thing I've been really enjoying about the Dark Age of Resistance is it's the characters and the world setting and the lore that I was already really invested in, and the visual sort of mastery of the puppet stuff in a sort of better paced, more interesting story, I think.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's all I really wanted out of this.
It was nice going through the IMDb page and seeing so many Muppet actors.
Yeah.
It's like, good. I'm glad they got sort of like seasoned puppeteers on, and to do like important voices as well.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't their fair share of like celebrity voices, because you got Mark Hamill in there as the scientist.
Yeah.
And was it Simon Pegg as Syl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was sitting there just going, I know that voice.
Yeah.
Who is that scientist?
The
Joker.
Yeah. So the general plot stuff going on is the Skeksis have controlled the crystal for hundreds of years, it seems. We don't know exactly what the time measurements
and
are,
they
but
basically sucked it dry.
They basically sucked it dry, but also like completely convinced all of the other species that like they are omniscient and should never be questioned. And the crystals run dry, and they're like, oops, we need a new source of power. We can use the crystal to drain the life essence out of creatures. It's a thing we saw in the Dark Crystal. Yeah. And one of the Gelflings happens to see this happen and go, oh, I need to stop this. And also, there's a couple of other plots.
Yeah, they've not really sort of come to.
Yeah, like there's a Gelfling princess that has worked out that like her mother's taking bribes, and that maybe the Skeksis aren't on the up and up.
There's the other one that's
the underground hippie. Yeah, the underground hippie,
who's worked out that there is some sort of disease on the planet.
Yeah,
itself.
like the tree told her the world is getting corrupted. You got to go stop the corruption, and these three sort of protagonists are all seemingly heading towards we need to fix the same problem, but from different perspectives, and will eventually clash, one would imagine. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested. I like the cast.
Yeah.
I feel like right now the main protagonist so far has been Gelfling that saw the soul thing.
Yes.
They seem like our leading protagonist.
They seem to have like the most actiony plot going on at the moment.
Yes.
And I imagine because of what they know, they will play the largest key at this point.
Yeah, they seem to be the one who has the most connections to other people and people that go along with it. Like the most like story revolving around them outside of themselves. I must say, I do love the what's the really tiny species called? The podlings. I really like the adventurous podling that we met recently. Hop. Yes, they're adorable, and I love them, and I would jump on a grenade for them. Hop. What about you? Have you watched anything else this week?
That's pretty much it, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well then. Time for this.
Hello, we've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
This week's sponsor is Who's It?
What's that? Who or what is that?
Well, do you ever watch a show, like an animated show or something like with voice acting, or even video games? And you're like, I recognise that voice. Who the fuck is that?
Oh, that happened literally the other day. We were watching that show, and I was pretty sure, wasn't certain, pretty sure I could hear Scorpio from She-Ra in the background.
Oh
yeah, and usually it requires a lot of weird googling to Find out what's what.
IMDb, then scroll.
Yeah,
like,
well,
what even is that character called?
You've got to look up the show that you know them from, find what the character is, find the person, then go to their IMDb and then scroll through to look for that show and go, oh, are you on here? Like, there's got to be a better way.
Well, there's Who's It. It's like Shazam, but for voice actors.
What? So I, like, hold my phone up to the telly while that character is talking, and I will get told that that is Mark Hamill being a puppet in The Dark Crystal.
Yeah, exactly that. Would you like that service?
That's a service I feel is vital in my life.
Would you be willing to pay for that service?
Depends what amount. What
Would you feel happier if there was a discount on the payment of that service?
I always feel better if there is a discount on my payment.
How about 30% off your first month using Who's It?
That sounds like a bargain.
It's available on iOS and Android. If you just head over to the various stores over there and just look for Who's It. That's WHOZIT. Or you can head over to whosit.lol.net and you can get 30% off your first month subscription of Who's It. And never be like shocked by who a thing is as well. Also, if you want to seem really clever, you can just sort of casually have the app open and everyone's like, who is that? I know that voice. Who is that voice? I know that voice.
It's Scorpio from She-Ra.
Oh, I was just, that appears to be Scorpio from She-Ra. Twiddles moustache.
Can you go download that right now?
Yeah. Inside the boardroom of Electronic Actor Softworks.
Hi. How's evil business been going this week?
Well, we've got that big launch, so I think their temperatures have been running kind of high for that.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of interns to flog, and some of upper management have actually had to do some work.
Oh, God, terror, actually having to do some work.
Right? I mean, that's not what they pay us for.
No, God, no. So, where are we at with that? How's that all been going?
Well, it's this streaming console thing that isn't really a console.
The thing where they pay us for games, but we never actually give them the games.
Yeah, and they stream it, and we hope that their internet suppliers just give them the capacity to use that.
Ha!
I mean, hopefully by then we'll already have like a year subscription out of them, so if nothing else, that will just be just going on there. Maybe they'll forget it. It'll be like a gym membership. They'll stop using it, but they'll keep playing the subscription.
Yeah.
And we'll make it really fucking hard to cancel it.
What other kind of cancellation is there?
Right? So, there has been some problems with that.
What kind of problems?
It's not ready. Like, at all.
I mean, like, how not ready?
I mean, the controllers exist, and the subscription website exists, and we have shipped the controllers out to stores, but there's not really any games, any exclusive content, any real reason to buy it. And as you mentioned, like they don't ever own the games, and somehow that got out, so they're aware of that situation.
Wait, they're not happy about that.
Like
that makes us more money and gives them less security. What's not to love?
Well, we haven't quite got the same level of tribalism behind this as we do behind most of our other nefarious
schemes. Plans, ploys,
corporate ideas.
Sure.
Yeah, basically we had to put out just like a roadmap. You know how people like the roadmaps?
Oh, that thing where we promise stuff, but they don't actually have it yet. So
yeah,
it's we make a promise, and that's as good as actually doing the work.
Yeah, I mean, right?
That's
enough, right?
So around that online spacey people shooty game did.
Yeah,
they never
the one with the flying.
Yeah, they never made their roadmap, and they're still fine,
right? So, we're promising all the features that we said 6 months ago were going to be available at launch. Some of them are going to be available by the end of the year. Some of them are going to be available February next year. And some of them are on just an indefinite sort of wibbly-wobbly future position.
That's the we don't actually intend to do them pile, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just overinflated promises and hoping no one will mind.
if we say it'll happen someday could be forever away. They can never prove that we don't intend to do it.
Hey, on a long enough timeline, any of our promises could theoretically come true.
Indeed. You fucking genius.
I know. So, what has found its way into your ear holes?
I've honestly had very little time to listen to stuff this week.
Mm.
Because it's been such a heavy week of game reviewing, I've not really been in like a listen to music headspace. I've needed to do words. So, I've been listening to a bunch of like different types of white noise.
Ooh.
Which is a thing I quite often enjoy, a bit of white noise.
Same.
So some particular white noise examples I've been listening to this week are crashing waves.
Ooh.
A motorway is recorded from above a bridge, so it's just sort of consistent moving traffic sound.
Yeah.
Rain effects. Like, there's a website I go to quite often called Rainy Mood,
Ooh.
and it's just leave a tab open, it'll just make sort of rain and light thunderstorm in the distance noises.
Aww.
Just some kind of sound to occupy my brain that isn't in any way words that would distract me from word doing.
Yeah, I love like white noise or just sound generators.
Yeah.
There's a website called MyNoise.net
Yeah.
that I have donated to a couple of times because I've spent hours using their stuff.
Yeah.
I originally found them through a cat purr generator.
Oh,
because
cat purrs are so good, yeah.
I had wanted a cat for ages. I finally psyched myself up that I was responsible and mentally stable enough to handle owning a cat.
Yeah.
And my housemate, who'd previously gone, yeah, have a cat, suddenly went, no, don't have a cat. And this was like after I'd spent all afternoon picking out like baskets and litter trays and a cat tree and all sorts of other things. So it was quite devastating. Someone was like, here, have a cat purr. I was like, and sent me a link to it. It was quite therapeutic for like a good few weeks. I needed to calm down.
Cat purr is a really good one of those noises.
It's good because like it's got like a random like an animate sliders option.
Yes, I've seen you use this. Yeah,
and it'll just sort of change the type of purr you get, like the highs, mids, like the little chirpy sounds you get on the purr. You can just go, I will set this to be like this particular cat that I have memory of, or you can just go, I just want it to sort of cycle through catness.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do loads of different sounds. There was a while where it was playing like 6 different sounds together, and it sounded almost like a sci-fi spaceship or something. Soundscape.
You know what's a combination of sounds that's really calming to me?
Mm-hmm.
It's rain with a little bit of thunderstorm combined with tumble dryer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like because I think that comes with visions of like warm, toasty out the tumble dryer clothes on a cold, rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a really good combo.
There was one I used to listen to that was I can't even remember what they're called, like binaural
oh yeah,
like hums and throbs. So you have sort of something that's just and then you have something else that's like a much higher sort of and then you have like beeps and other things, and like just other like real low frequency sounds, things that you feel like right inside you, and just like almost to the point where you feel like you're starting to get a bit unhinged with it, with just like the particular combinations of sounds. And I like fucking with my brain in that kind of way sometimes. It's just like, how wacky can I get things to the point where I'm starting to feel a bit, okay, I need to stop now. Just like really weird, sort of vaguely sci-fi sounds. But there's other things like the person that like runs it goes around the world and is like, I'm gonna sit by a river for an hour and just record the sound of water. But also I might capture the sound of like a bird or something else. And the fact that they can isolate each of those sounds so that you can have one on each slider.
Yeah.
And then it sort of randomizes when that's going to come in and what sort of volume that's going to be, or which one of the heck knows how many samples. You can make your own one, like combinations. Like,
Yeah.
I want these aspects from this and those aspects from that. Yeah, MyNoise is really cool.
Yeah. So, white noise. Pretty good when you're having a week like I've had, where I'm just like, non-stop.
Also, brown noise is really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit more, like, beachy.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the brown note.
Yeah. Green noise is quite good. What I sometimes, like, I know white noise is what everyone tends to call most of this stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I find white noise sort of jaggy and a bit sharp on the ears sometimes.
White noise is essentially been used as a catch-all term for sort of background hum noises.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What have you listened to this week?
I blame Outside Xbox for all of this. They did a, like, most annoying tunes in video games, and reminded me of Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, Parappa the Rapper's great!
So I sat and listened to the entire Parappa soundtrack.
Oh, those cheesy 90s raps, huh? They're all very child-friendly rap.
I didn't realise, like, the soundtrack of that game's like 20 minutes long. It's just, considering how long it took me to get through that game.
Yeah, it was the main reason why that game never got a sequel or anything. Is
it did? Didn't it?
Did it?
I thought Parappa 2 came out.
Maybe it did. I never played Parappa 2. If that's the case, I feel
thought Parappa 2 came out on PS2.
It probably did. I'm probably just... I'm not up to date too much on my Sonys. I know Parappa 1. I played Parappa 1.
Yeah, Parappa the Rapper 2.
Ah, well.
Came out on August the 30th, 2001 for the PlayStation 2. It's also available on PS4.
Well.
Yeah.
I only ever played the first one.
It's got a 97% and 4.4 out of 5.
I love Parappa the Rapper, but there's not a lot of material in it.
Kick Punch, it's all in the mind.
Oh, that onion.
Chop Master Onion.
Chop Master Onion.
Kick Punch Chop Block.
Yeah, for anyone who's never played this, it's a music rhythm game about a rapping dog in a beanie.
Yeah, so, and sort of as you hit the things, rather than playing a note, he will say a word.
Yeah.
And if you press it at the wrong time, he will say the wrong word, or he will say it badly. And if you do it often enough, it will change the music to a minor key and make duck quacks happen, so it's even harder to play the fucking song. And if you do really, really well, you can rap freestyle at the end of it. Ooh. And if you happen to be doing the flea market scene, you can make some funny lines come out of him about selling skunk.
Oh goodness.
It's I didn't realise, first of all, like, how short it was. The fact that, like, most of the lyrics don't make sense.
No, they don't.
Like, I think my favourite track on there is the driving instructor.
Yeah.
With I didn't know the moose was called Mussolini. So, wow, okay, that's something I missed as a child. But yeah, I remember playing, like, the first 2 levels of that over and over and over and over again and just being really bad at it.
Yeah.
Then moving house and I think playing it on, like, a different telly or something. And all of a sudden I got all the way through to, like, the end.
Yeah.
And even got, like, freestyle on one of the levels. Just like, what happened?
You were playing with a lagless telly suddenly.
Apparently so, but it was always CRT, so...
Yeah.
I didn't even know, like, that was a thing with CRT.
Mm.
But yeah, this was many years ago at the real Danger Telly.
Oh, the one that caught fire.
The one that caught fire then got repaired, and then there was a problem with the connector on the aerial. So some like a friend of a friend came round our house, took the back off the telly, like a CRT telly.
Woo!
And just like hard tied the aerial cable onto the like inside the back of the telly.
Oh, God.
And we still used it for like 3 fucking years.
Oh!
It dangerous much, yeah?
A little bit.
A little bit dangerous. But yeah, I enjoy Parappa.
Parappa's it's charming.
I started listening to the soundtrack from Jamalami as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I haven't thought about that in a while.
Nobody has. It's like, do you want to do Parappa the Rapper, but without rapping and instead with guitar licks? Didn't really work
It's
very well.
Guitar Hero before a Guitar Hero controller, I guess. Kind of.
I would be interested to know if you can play Guitar Hero with... If you can play Jamalami with a Guitar Hero
I
guitar.
would be curious. I'm sure it's been done. I would hope it's
Maybe.
been done.
Maybe.
What else? Have you listened to anything else?
The only other thing I've really been listening to is I'm still working backwards through the Shut Up and Sit Down podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
I had to be a bit careful the other day because I wasn't paying attention at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Just walking down the street, podcast on. And they were doing a spoiler cast for Pandemic Legacy.
Oh,
No, we're only 3 months into it. We've been playing for 3 years, like 2 years, I think.
Oh, no.
And we've only managed 3 sessions of it.
Yeah.
One of those were replaying the first 2 sessions because we fucked it up. But, maybe one day we'll get to play month 4 of that. Or what is more likely, I think, is I'm going to buy my own copy. We're each going to take 2 characters and we're going to play through it together.
I think that is probably more likely, yeah.
But yeah, that's that. It's not been a heavy listening week.
No.
No.
No. Well then, time for this.
Do you want some of that?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So, did you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's always like really focused, on like the Illuminati, yeah.
Yeah.
They're always like, the all-seeing eye, innit? Right.
Yeah.
Did you know that there are other omniscient parts out there that no one ever really talks about?
What,
There is a bigger conspiracy.
What? It's bigger than the all-seeing eye?
Yeah, like there's the all-smelling nose.
Oh, I get it. Is there an all-hearing ear?
Yeah, there's like an all-hearing ear and an all-licking tongue. But weirdly, like an all-knowing hand. You'd have thought that'd be more touchy, but it's knowing apparently.
Oh goodness! So what do all these parts make up as a whole? What's the big conspiracy?
Well, like I reckon,
Yeah.
I reckon it's Exodia rules.
Oh, I see. So if they put together the all-seeing eye, all-seeing, all-smelling nose, all-hearing ear, etc.
Yeah, and then the all-knowing hand.
Yeah.
They'll all come together, and that will bring about the end times.
Well, let's hope whatever aliens is drawing cards up there gets a really shitty start in hand, I guess.
Well, heart of the cards and all that, innit?
Yeah.
Alright. You want to see what I've got for what I've got going, eh?
What are you offering?
I've got all the different types, or every type you could want.
You're being very vague. Are you talking about?
It's got a sachet in it.
The sachet.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Oh, you're not talking about noodles, are you? Oh, noodles. What?
I've got chicken and mushroom.
Chicken and mushroom. You got beef and tomato.
Beef and tomato.
Got
Bombay bad boy.
Oh goodness, you got any nice and spicy?
Chicken curry.
Chicken curry. Yeah. You got like 3 of those?
Threating, Gary.
He's threatening. I know.
I know the goods then.
There you go. I'm gonna have a real dirty night tonight.
You, want an extra sashay? Or a couple of extra sachets?
I'll try and palm them off you.
There you go.
Oh.
That soy sauce! Oh, you for a lovely time. Question time. It's time for questions.
What's the question?
Job. Hi, Job.
Hi.
We'd like to know, have you ever experienced something spoopy you can't explain, or heard someone else's experience?
Have you got an answer for this?
I have, but with hindsight and experience and understanding my mental health a bit better, I was just having a really bad mental health time.
Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as spooky. I suppose the one I've talked about previously is when I was little and was watching TV on the Danger Telly that we've
the Danger Telly, yes.
just talked about. It's weird that it floats up again. I was watching Child's Play and it scared me, so I turned it off. Oh no, it turned itself off. So I tried to turn it back on. I pressed the button in, and then all this smoke rose out of the power on button. I was like, I'm just gonna unplug that and go to bed.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that, I suppose that's the closest thing to something spoopy.
The first thing that's come to mind for me was when I thought I was seeing the afterlife, and it turns out that actually I'd been
given
triage
drug.
I'd been given a triage drug after a motorcycle accident, and I thought I was seeing the afterlife, and it was a horrifying mess of being trapped in the eternity between two mirrors, and the world going on a loop and fading in and out, and yeah, that was what I thought was a mysterious circumstance and
They
a
really
spooky
should
event.
warn people about that stuff.
Yes, and then it turned out, no, you were just K-holing because you were in a vehicle collision.
And it's one of those drugs that they can give you as a triage drug that doesn't really react to anything.
It's not a thing you're likely to be allergic to, or that's going to react with anything else. But they don't tell you that, and then you wake up from the floor like, oh, is that what happens when I die? Okay, thanks.
There's a reason they call it regretamin.
Indeed.
Rob Sothoff would like to know, would you consider doing voice acting for a video game or anime?
I would love to if the opportunity came up.
Definitely. I love doing silly voices.
I would love the opportunity. There's a couple that I could do consistently enough that I'd love to do them. I'd love to do the Sherry ladies in something.
Yeah, I'm sure we could think of something.
Well, yes. I'm sure the two of us in the background of a scene could have a rather wonderful conversation.
Yes, dear.
It would be fan favourite characters.
Well, maybe if they ever did another Broken Sword, we could be sitting in the background chatting to Mrs. Pillmont.
Oh, goodness. Oh. Contact us for voice acting work today.
They're doing a Beneath the Steel Sky sequel. Mrs. Pyrmont was in that as well. So.
Wow.
Yes, dear.
Yes.
Which show / game would be your preference?
Ooh.
Jim Sterling's licensed video game experience.
I wish.
I'd like to be in that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I hope that is a thing one day.
Maybe Justin will make a game and need some voice actors for that.
Yeah.
He's doing games now.
He is indeed.
Go check out Feisty Heist.
Yeah.
I believe it's on itch.io.
Yeah.
Larry Yelling NB. Hi, Larry. Do either of you remove tags from your clothes? And if so, what is the best method for doing it if you've tried?
Yes, I do that thing. A lot of my clothes don't have tags in anymore because
they are uncomfortable.
They are uncomfortable labels available in stores now, or as an audiobook on lauraKbuzzstore.com. Yeah. So the best method I find tends to be initially go for it with just a pair of scissors, get as close as you can without cutting the obviously the bit where it's stitched on. Beyond that, worst case scenario, a pair of tweezers will pull the excess off if you've got straggly bits after you've done that. If you still find it being scratchy and fiddly, a thin coat of like clear nail polish over it will stop it being quite so scratchy on where you've cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
You got any advice on this?
Years ago, I just used to rip them out, which ended up with me having holes in lots of clothes.
Yeah, but it's the best way to not have the tag there, right?
It's the most sudden way to go. I've dealt with this thing that was...
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Spoiling my brain.
I've ripped a few tags out of clothes, but I try and preempt it now. I tend to just remove them when I buy clothes where possible.
Yeah, this thing, like, try them on. If they're in a place that's annoying you, I mean, like, I don't find every one annoys me, but sometimes it's either the material they're made of or the position they're in that just annoys the piss out of me.
I haven't removed the neck tag out of this shirt yet, and now the more we're talking about it, the more I'm like, oh no, I feel it.
Yeah, I can feel the one in this shirt as well.
Yeah, and
I think it's mostly because we're talking about it.
Yeah, it's gotten in my brain now. Ugh.
Stitch picker. Just get a stitch picker, and if you have to, sew that bit back up again. But yeah, if you've got the time, a stitch picker is probably the best one, and just go through it, carefully pull it out, and then just like sew over the top to stop the whole rest of the thing unraveling.
Yeah.
To be honest,
yeah,
it's not an interesting answer, but there we go.
It's a useful answer.
Becky Toohill. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
Favorite Dice Funk NPCs?
Ooh. Winnie from season 3 of Dice Funk.
Oh,
Our
Winnie.
Adorable jellyfish friend.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Hi.
It's your boy Winnie.
It's your boy Winnie. Oh, Winnie was too pure for this world.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Was it Winnie's jam?
Yeah, Winnie's jam. I also really like Diane LaVey Westerly.
Weird. I was going to say Frank's kids.
Yeah, like both of those kids were like pretty great, but Diane in particular, conduit of duckies.
Duck bats.
Conduit duck bats.
Duck bats were adorable.
Duck bats are adorable. Daddy.
She really reminded me of like a less destructive Anne from season 1.
A little bit. But like, yeah, but both of Frank's kids, I didn't know I could care this much for fictional children.
Austin did a great job.
He made me care for my fictional babies.
They were your fictional babies.
Yeah.
Tricky. Hi, Tricky. We'd like to know, which crime are you most likely to commit? Being gay.
Being gay. Being trans.
In many places in the world, those are crimes.
In many places in the world, existence is a crime. I don't know. Stealing digital media from a huge corporation that can afford it.
Yeah. It depends how badly Brexit goes.
Yeah.
At that point, potentially shoplifting for food.
Oh, yeah. Having been in a place where I couldn't afford to put food on the table, you gotta make ends meet.
You do.
Yeah.
Eating the rich.
Yeah, of course. I'm not opposed to punching some Nazis. Technically illegal, morally fine.
Absolutely morally fine.
Yeah, I'll punch a Nazi here or there.
Yeah.
Some protesting when I've been told I'm not allowed to. I'll do that.
Yeah, you know how they're trying to take away our right to protest.
Yeah. Basically,
we made it dark, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'll get the bleak alarm.
All of the we're going to live in a fascist utopia and need to stand up against it crimes.
Yeah. Bleak. Wife boy. Hi. We'd like to know, what's your favourite new Pokemon from Sword and Shield?
Oh, every time I get asked this question, I give a different answer. I've failed to settle on one yet. So, I think I'm going to say a couple of contenders right now. I think Galarian Ponyta is adorable. I'm a big fan of Yamper, the electric dog with a heart on its butt. The ghost in a cup of tea is cute as heck. And I've one that has grown on me really recently is Sobble's Final Evolution. It does little finger guns and shoots more of its finger guns. And my god, when I was streaming that game and we got its Final Evolution, the number of people in the chat who were like, didn't think I was a furry, I am now. Because they're just getting... I'm like, first of all, you're scalies, not furries. Second of all, that is one suave fucking lizard. They've got the same energy as Double Trouble from She-Ra.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of like, yes. Bang with my finger guns. And everyone's just like, sploosh. We like this fish, man.
The water guns, they make us go sploosh.
Those are my answers right now, but they change given the day they're changing.
Mine would be either Wooloo or the sentient jizz.
Oh, the sentient jizz. Milcery.
Yeah, Mill, not Camcery.
Can I just say, this very minor spoilers, but do you know how you evolve that to turn it into the whipped cream Pokemon?
You give it a strawberry and spin around.
Yeah, you do a spinny. You do a spinny one. A whole
Pokemon trainer goes spinny.
Pokemon trainer goes spinny with holding a strawberry, and it turns into strawberry whipped cream. It's adorable. I love this game.
It's pretty adorable.
Oh,
I like the thing about evolving Sirfetch'd as well.
Yes.
He's got to prove himself.
Yeah, his whole Pokedex entry for Galarian Farfetch'd is about, like, he's a warrior and he's got to prove that he can be a warrior. It's his whole purpose. And you have to have him solo, like, 3 Pokemon in a row in the same Pokemon battle without any help, where it's just like, nope, he's going to fight me, he's going to beat him, no one's going to help him, he's going to do it himself, and he evolves. I'm like, that's cute.
Oh, also the Trans Forest Witch.
Oh, the Trans Forest Witch, the little Hat Witch. Yeah, Hat Witch is adorable. I've got too many that I like.
There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones.
I think Jim Sterling made a very good point the other day talking about how you could have got over all this Dexit bullshit by just making an entirely new range of Pokemon.
I think he's being really optimistic, and I think this...
Oh, I think it was always going to be bollocks, but like...
I don't think it would have been any less... I think it would have been arguably worse had no Pokemon been coming back.
We need our Charizard.
Because at that point, people would have gone, oh, do I have to pay for 3DS Bank forever for my collection?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, like... I have conflicted feelings on that. I would... Here's the thing, they've done that in the past, and it was the games that sold least. Like, Black and White. Pokemon Black and White... But until you completed the League and the Pokedex and everything, there were like 120 or something new Pokemon, and those were the only ones you could find. There were no returning ones, it was just those. And that is one of the worst selling games in the series. I agree with you, I would like that. I'm playing through the story right now using only exclusively new Pokemon to this game. I want a game full of
Wait, don't you have a Pikachu?
Not on my team. Okay, I had on my backup team. I've been leveling up like extra things to get them to evolve, but
That's the only ones I've seen. I've not had time to watch your stream.
no, my standard team that I'm doing the story with is entirely new Pokemon, and the only reason I've used not new Pokemon is so that I don't progress while I'm not on stream. But I agree with you, I would like that, but I can understand why Game Freak doesn't do it, because it doesn't sell. People like their old stuff.
What's your favourite returning Pokemon?
Ooh, Mimikyu. Mimikyu made it into Sword and Shield, and I love Mimikyu so much.
Is there a specific Galarian form for Mimikyu?
There's no new form for Mimikyu, but for anyone who doesn't know, the whole thing with Mimikyu is that they're just a really scary Pokemon that, like, people would have, like, heart attacks and stuff looking at them. They're real scary. And that made them real sad, because they just wanted to make friends and no one could look at them. So they make a Pikachu outfit, because Pikachu is really popular and everyone loves Pikachu. And it makes this little homemade Pikachu outfit to be like, I'm a Pikachu, please love me. And I'm like, it's okay, I love you, my scary baby.
It's totally an oddish.
Is Oddish terrifying to you?
No, Lil Char and the gang.
Yeah.
The Facebook thing. The Mimikyu in that, they were just like, it's totally an oddish.
Yeah,
also, go check out Lil Char and the gang. It's really cute.
It's adorable. Baba.
Excess Pokemon Hype Wiki. Hi. We'd like to know. Sword and Shield features mashup. Fossil Pokemon.
Oh yeah, do you know about this?
I do. Which classic fossil Pokemon would you mash up, and how would you stop the screams?
Yeah, so for anyone who's listening who doesn't know, usually in Pokemon games you find a fossil, you revive that Pokemon, you get the oldest Pokemon back to life. In this, you find halves of fossils, and you can combine them to create creatures that were never meant to be. You can do like, here's the top half of a dinosaur and the bottom half of a fish, we stuck the fossils together. Here's an abomination that doesn't look like it should exist. Honestly, the only fossil Pokemon from old games I really care about are Omanyte and Kabuto. And how would I make the screaming stop? I wouldn't, like, crack the fossils in half and mush them together that way. I'd take two complete fossils, put them back to back, so it's just a Omanyte riding on a Kabuto. And the two of them are just best friends who are born together and get to be, like, twinsies.
See, you said that, and I immediately thought of the twins from... Is it Hellraiser 3? When their heads are twisted together.
God.
With the thing. Yeah, that. I don't know enough about fossil Pokemon to answer this question, so I'm going to leave it there. Callum Turner, hi Callum! Are there any colours of clothes / accessories that you like but don't own many of?
Do you have an answer for this?
Purple. I own maybe one purple item of clothing, which is my Laura K. Buzz hoodie, available at laurakbuzz.spreadshirt.co.uk.
Something like that.
Look for Laura K. Buzz and Spreadshirt if you want any of that cool merch. You can have like that logo is tattooed on my arm on a t-shirt, but with words. I love purple. When I first came out, I wore a lot of purple, and I do not suit a lot of purple. I love it, but someone described it as a really heavy colour to wear all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't wear a lot of purple. I love it. I've got that Stone Monkey Radio t-shirt that's purple with white splashes all over it.
I would agree on purple, actually. I own a couple of purple things. Like, I recently bought... check out Cosmignon on Twitter. They do a bunch of really good Dice Funk art, but they make a bunch of stuff you can buy that art on. And there is a Sasha as the Mothman from Dice Funk with the Trans Pride flag around their neck on a purple shirt.
That's sort of blurple, though.
That's pretty... I thought it was...
Yeah, but it's like blue end of purple rather than red end of purple.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realise I was talking about the wrong kind of purple.
You weren't talking about the wrong kind of purple.
I like lots of kinds of purple.
Purple covers quite a wide spectrum.
I like a lot of types of purple. That was just one example of a rare purple thing I own, and I like lots of purple things.
It's a good blurple. Yeah, I like it. Nick of Strong Style. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
What is your favourite taunt in all of games?
Taunt. The only one I can think of right now is in Smash Brothers. It's Captain Falcon going, "Show me your moves."
I never use them. I'm usually too busy hammering buttons, hoping I won't die immediately.
Show me your moves.
I will. Starts boogieing. I love Dedu Molinaro. What is the first dish you learned to cook?
First dish I learned to cook. You got an answer for this?
Does dessert count as a dish?
I think it does.
A chocolate roulade.
Oh, lovely.
It's really hard to make, but yeah, it was. I was sent I got interested in cooking because I liked food. I wasn't very good at cooking. I kept throwing things in pans like, I like this flavour, I like this flavour, I like this flavour. Oh, it's so horrible. And I think my nan sent me to a summer cooking class where I learned first day chocolate roulade, which is quite a difficult starting position, really.
Yeah.
Because getting the damn thing to roll without it sort of just collapsing on itself is pretty impressive. I think it had bits of banana in it as well, and just really thick whipped cream. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
The next day after that, we made vegetable curry.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The first meal I remember, like, with some help, going through the steps and helping make was a red lentil curry soup.
Ooh.
Yeah, can't remember. I was pretty young, but that was the first time I remember helping like make a meal. Got any other questions?
Lucy would like to know what's your favourite texture?
Ooh, lots of textures. I really like very fine, soft, fluffy stuff.
Smudge.
Smudge is good.
Smudge is good. Do pets on.
Smudge is good. Do pets.
I think we've answered this question before because I feel like I said smudge and pubes.
Ha!
I like stroking the pubes.
Yeah, I've got a couple of small stuffed animals that just have like really nice soft texture to just rub my hand against. Like good texture feels.
Mm-hmm. Your blue bunny.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's very good and fluffy.
Yeah. Caladry, hi Caladry.
Hi.
If you could Dynamax yourself for one thing, what would it be?
It is a Pokemon thing, by the way. If you don't know, it's a Pokemon thing.
This could either be a one time ever or for one thing that repeats itself.
Ooh. The first answer I had come into my head was Dynamax form when I need to give you 4 head kisses and I just become the tall girlfriend.
The tallest girl.
I don't become huge. I become just like big enough to give you top down 4 head kisses.
Just gain a foot.
Yeah, just gain a foot and go like Dynamax every time I need to give you kisses.
So I can just look up at you and lean my head on your chest.
Dynamax form where I become a plane so I can be a fuel efficient form of transport.
Wait, they can fly?
Some of these Gigantamax or Dynamax forms totally change shape.
Oh, okay.
So like, I'll become a huge plane. There we go, done.
I don't really know what Dynamax is.
It's
I know the Gigantamax is the chunky Pikachu.
It's generally
long
you
boy.
just get really big, but you could also change shape and become like something that is a different form of yourself.
I mean, I think looming obviously would be the funnest thing, but I think like crushing capitalists. Just like I just turn into like Godzilla and just smash capitalism.
Yeah, like could I have a Dynamax form where I become like 9 foot tall and a bit hench, so that like if I'm being threatened by aggressive assholes, suddenly it's like, oh, you're gonna start on me. I'm 9 foot tall. What you gonna do?
Oh, I'd want to be like 80 foot tall and just like smashing through Whitehall and Kensington. Jane smash. Firing lasers. That is all the questions.
Well then, time for this.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social justice warriors.
Social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Right, Larry. Right, Barry. How you doing? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How's all going with you? Anything been on your mind this week? Yes. I was a thread on Twitter the other day about a wheelchair user. She was in a hotel and the fire alarms went off, and nobody seemed to know what to do with them. They got parked in the evacuation space on the stairs, and then just left there. Yeah. While everyone else was evacuated, and the staff didn't know where the evacuation equipment was or how to use it. Yeah. Well, I'm imagining this is one of those situations where they've probably gone, oh, we've got elevators and lifts in our hotel, therefore disabled guests can get up and down. Why would we need to know anything more than that? And complacency has suddenly gone, oh wait, we didn't think about disabled people in our emergency plans. Well, the thing was that it turned out eventually that they had a piece of equipment for helping to get disabled people out, but no one there knew how to use it. Yeah. And while trying to work it out, they were like using it on each other to see if they could work out how this device worked, and none of them knew. Yeah. And I understand that towards the end, a fire marshal asked them why they hadn't just used the lift. You know, the lift.
Well, you are told not to use a lift in a...
In the event of a fire.
Yeah.
Apparently, unless you're disabled, then you get free access.
I do feel like if there's been several minutes of fumbling around, not sure how to get you out of a building that might be on fire, I think you probably do take your chances at that point in the lift. But that's not what you should have to do.
No, and, this is concerning. Like, I'm sure at some point somebody had training on how to use this equipment.
Yeah.
But I feel like that needs to be more of a regular thing.
Oh,
you need to make sure people... First of all, everyone is trained in it, because you don't know who's going to be in or out.
Yeah.
And then that is like a regularly refreshed piece of course.
I feel like every time you do a fire test drill alarm in your building, which you've got to do, place a member of staff in a wheelchair in a random location or on a random floor and go, okay, we're doing a drill.
Yeah.
This member of staff needs help.
Exactly.
Like, test it, practice it, do the thing.
Yeah, or, maybe not just one. Have, enough people that everyone has experienced how this equipment works, what the evacuation procedure is for those people. Because you can't just leave people in limbo like, oh, am I just going to burn to death at the top of a flight of stairs?
Yeah.
Because no one seems to have made any fucking allowance for me.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, these people mentioned the fact they'd asked specifically for an accessible room.
Yeah.
Why were they not on the ground floor in the first place?
Exactly.
I get that there are, you can have accessible rooms maybe options for getting onto and off of the toilet, things like that, or beds of a certain height, things of, more accessible, heights and things. But, and that can be on a different floor, but if that's going to be the case, you need to make sure that you can get people out in an emergency.
Yeah.
And what about visitors? If someone comes to visit someone else in the hotel, you need to make sure that you can get everybody out in all situations. It's just not good enough to leave people there potentially going, well, this might be the end of me just because no one bothered to think about me or care about my well-being.
Yeah.
They're willing to take their money. They might even charge them a premium for the ability to use additional facilities.
Yeah. It's just not good enough.
It's not good enough at all, and they really need to do more and start thinking as a start point.
As a world, we need to think about these things more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're on ARG?
Yeah, I'm out for ARG, mate. Good hug, mate. Good hug.
Yeah,
put it on.
Yeah, we'll have that cup of tea.
Yeah. Laura!
Me?
Yeah.
What about me? Well, I have a very serious question for you. I know question time is over, but where can we find you on the internet?
See, I knew that was where it was going, but I still felt really anxious and nervous.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You can find me at Laura K Buzz pretty much everywhere on the internet. Laura K Buzz on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Currently, I am live streaming my story mode playthrough of Pokémon Sword, so you can either check that out 2 p.m. through probably about 6 p.m. Monday to Friday on Twitch, or as daily episodes on YouTube. You can find everything I publish on laurakbuzz.com, be it written articles, freelance pieces, videos, podcasts, it all ends up there. You can find a bunch of my reviews on Polygon at the moment. There is my review of Golem. What else did I review before that? Well, I can't remember what it was I was reviewing. Planet Zoo, Disco Elysium, and probably a not very good game that we talked about this week will probably be up on Polygon by now.
Golem.
No, another one.
Another one
of the not great games that I've played this week.
Much choice.
Other than that, you can find me. I've got books. Uncomfortable Labels. It's out now. It's about being gay and trans and on the autism spectrum. You can find it in book places where books are sold, or as an audiobook at laurakbuzzstore.com.
And they make wonderful gifts.
In the gift-giving period, which is coming up soon. There is also Things I Learned from Mario's Butt, which is a compendium of silly and serious illustrated video game character butt reviews that is coming out in October 2020. Other than that, Pixel Squirt, it's a video game porn review podcast. There is Dice Funk, it's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Each season is a self-contained story. I'm on seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6. And, Podquisition, we talk about video games, but also a lot about lefty politics. And I'm probably going to be guesting on a podcast soon that is quite cool, so next week listen out for a cool announcement about a place I'll be guesting on a thing. I don't think I've told you about this yet.
No,
I'll
that's
tell
the first I've heard
I'll
about
tell you
it.
about it after the outro.
Alright.
What about you? Where are you on the internet?
I'm Maniac Janiac on Twitter and YouTube, but you can also find me on soundcloud.com/JaneArrisMagnet, where you might be listening to this now. I'm also paypal.me/JaneMagnet if you want to send me some one-offs to help me pay the bills. Alternatively, I'm on patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio, and I'd like to thank my Patreons. This month's Patreons include Math Tiger asks what is 280.46 times 1.5. It's 420.69. Thank you to Jaden, thank you to Cassiopeia Swift, to Lula, Callum, Muscles, stop stealing my name, Turner, Snake Kearney, the Christmas Snake, aww, J. Logan, Conduit Aquinas, Mage of Life, Larry Yelling NB, Tales of Inquiry, Robin Anton, Kellergy is thankful that her spirit is bound to the awe-inspiring Mitzi. Aww. Robert Cube Conquer. Okay. Jurgen Indie Monster Mine Ferde, Conduit of Name Butchering, has got rid of the letters now. So I don't have to do the letters anymore. Perhaps they realised that breaking Austin wasn't an option. Aww. And Basin is back. Thank you so very, very much for all of your help with doing things. I had to cash out my Patreon the other week to pay for urgently needed dental work because I was in agony. So thanks everyone who supported that. I think that's everything.
Well then.
Oh, Redbubble. I'm on Redbubble. You can find me there, Stoned Monkey Radio. You can buy a butt plug soup thing. And I'm about to design a load more t-shirts after this.
Because you made a font.
I made a font, but also I came up with a really great idea. It's a sign that goes on the front of your chest and it says you must be at least this tall to ride the looming mistress. But I'll do other versions with other sort of gender...
That's fucking great.
So until next time,
be a stranger.